Alright, what's cracking, y'all? It's your boy Prince, the Hustle God. And we back reaching in one more again to our combat tool bag. It's a cool black affair. Let's talk about Tank. Alrighty, shout out to the mighty LDBC. LDBC only, LDBC everywhere. So Gervonta Tank Davis, supposedly the best fighter in the world, who's basically had a good build, but suspect track record as far as opponents. Called out Devin Haney because Devin Haney stated that if you're not going to make the big fights, be loyal to Floyd and stay with Floyd. There's no reason to leave. So he angrily, in response, oddly enough, contradicted himself in the same interview that he stated this is his last fight and his contract is up. He states, well, my contract is not up, and since you want to talk, if you win your next fight, I want to fight you next. Now, he stated this knowing that Devin Haney had a 3-fight contract obligation just for a one shot, like a 1-fight deal at Undisputed. For him to get one opportunity at Undisputed, he had to sign on to Bob Arum and Lou DiBella for 3 fights. So Tank, he stated that in calling him an email champ, that derived from Lomachenko ducking him and asking for the franchise belt, in which he received it and basically vacated the traditional WBC title, which is the actual champion belt, or at least the most prestigious champion belt, according to the people whose minds are run by Floyd Mayweather. So Devin had received, because he had already had a mandatory slot to essentially to have a shot at Lomachenko. So he essentially became the WBC, so the WBC champion, and people being like Teofimo Lopez, Ryan Garcia, and Tank Davis, all people who essentially refuse to agree to a fight or fight Devin Haney, always circulate this: he's an email champion, he's not a real champion. Well, after this call out, and this is just the most recent event about it. Now, Devin Haney has been wanting to fight Tank Davis and fight Ryan Garcia and fight Teofimo Lopez, and it seemed as though they kind of like colluded together and joined at, colluded together and joined forces to not fight Devin Haney by any means, in an attempt to somewhat freeze him out so that he'd have to move up, and they all failed because his persistence resulted in him being undisputed. So now this email champion, according to them, has every real title at the weight. So Tank Davis, who is the best fighter in the world, according to Leonard Ellerbe, and according to a lot of you non-hardcore boxing fans, I'm trying not to use the word casual, but just non-boxing watching people. Long story short, he has all of the belts. Tank Davis has no belt. Literally no real belt. The belts that you see him draped in are what real boxing fans call the JV belts, junior varsity belts. Those are not real belts. The real title, and all of the titles, belong to the undisputed champion. That leaves room for no dispute, meaning that it's impossible for Tank Davis to be the best fighter in the world if he's fighting at the same weight class as Devin Haney, who is the undisputed champion, simply put. But to bring it full circle, Devin Haney has been repeatedly calling out Tank Davis for years, calling out Ryan Garcia, who also refused to fight him and stated that he was the best and he wanted to fight him last, but yet he didn't proceed on fighting any of the top lightweights names, Ryan Garcia in particular. Teofimo Lopez was called out on multiple occasions and for a while, and even signed with DAZN and was promoting a fight with Devin Haney, but screwed it all up by losing to George Kambosos. And even if he beat George Kambosos, he stated in an interview they knew that he was not going to fight Devin Haney, and he was going to get rid of all of the belts, allegedly. So, one question. Is Tank Davis petrified, not just scared, but is Tank Davis petrified of is Tank Davis, petrified of Devin the Dream Haney? Because it seems if he's the name that matters right now and he's the most recent to respond to Devin Haney, will he fight him? Will he find a way or make a way to fight him? Or was that just a response knowing that he can't fight, knowing that if he was to fight Devin Haney, it would have to have some contractual tie to Bob Arum and Lou DiBella if it was to be next in that 3-fight deal that Devin Haney is already obligated to. So, kind of a smart move on Tank's part, because for those of you who don't follow boxing regularly, it would appear that Tank says, I call out Devin Haney, and Devin Haney chooses to fight someone else, that someone else being a part 2 fight with Kambosos or a fight with Vasyl Lomachenko. So, is Tank Davis scared or petrified or horrified of Devin the Dream, the Lord Haney? It's looking like he is. Till next time, guys. It was a Code Black affair. Shout out to the mighty, mighty, mighty LDBC. LDBC only, LDBC everywhere. Peace.